Hey everyone, this is PM Sport Talk, the father and son duo podcast. I'm your host, Press, alongside my father, Mike, and Dad. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. We had a weekend full of some Game 7s. Can't wait to get into it.
Oh, it's the two greatest words in sports, isn't it?
Absolutely. Game 7, especially overtime in the NHL.
You know what? I think we'll start there. Let's go to the NHL, and we had two Game 7s that will go down in history. Let's start off Saturday. We had the Game 7 between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, two great teams. It's too bad they're playing against each other in the first round, but you know that's just the way the NHL does it with their seeding and whatever. So we won't get into that right now. But yeah, it's in Dallas, Game 7. Can't get any better than that. Colorado goes up 1-0 on a shorthanded goal in the second period. Then they had another one go up 2-0 in the third. And it's like halfway through the third or even more than that. Still 2-0, and things are looking pretty bleak for the Stars. Then all of a sudden it all changes with the guy that Colorado let go of with a mid-season trade, which we still really don't know why. Mikko Rantanen absolutely destroyed Colorado in this game. He scored 3 goals and set up another. And unbelievable flurry. Dallas just took this game over near the end of the third period and walks away with a victory and just a crazy ending to this game.
The atmosphere was crazy when they got the last goal, the empty netter.
Empty netter gives them the hat trick. Just crazy.
Let me tell you, that wraparound, that was one of the most crazy goals I've ever seen in my life.
I know, just off the skate and in. I mean, that started it all, right? That was the first one, right? And it was it just opened the floodgates because it was all Dallas after that.
Man, Colorado. I honestly, yeah, like you said, these are two very good teams. And if you look at this beforehand, you're probably like, yeah, this has got 7 written all over it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like these two teams play a lot in the playoffs while they're in the same division. But even before they were in the same division, they used to play a lot, and they're always good games. Back when long before you were born, they had a big time rivalry, and there was great hockey, and they've kind of renewed that rivalry again, and just crazy. I mean, I was watching this game, and I'm like, I'm paying attention to it, but I'm like, hey, it's 2-0. Right. Looking pretty good for Colorado. And then that's just the crazy thing about hockey. All it takes is that first goal for the team that's behind, and away they go. Right.
So Dallas wins that series. Who do they go on to play now?
They get to play the winner of the other
looks
Game
like
7.
Well, let's go over that then. The Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues. I'm new to hockey, so I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get called crazy, but I don't care. This was the best hockey game I've ever watched in my life. That might have been the most chaotic ending. The 4-3 ending in double overtime, and man, the way it just got sent to overtime.
It's crazy. Winnipeg is the President's Trophy winner in NHL, which is finished first place overall. And unlike basketball, where the top team almost always makes it to at least the conference final or the finals, that's not always the case in hockey. An 8 seed can beat a 1 seed in hockey. We saw it a couple years ago. The Bruins got beat by Florida. So, anyway, Winnipeg's goalie is Connor Hellebuck, who's going to win the Vezina Trophy for the best goalie in the league for like the 3rd time. But he has been horrible in the playoffs. He's had before this series, he was like 3-10 or something like that in the playoffs in his career.
Yeah.
And he's been pretty shaky in this series. He actually got pulled from all 3 games that were in St. Louis. And wouldn't you know it, this game starts out, first goal, right away, St. Louis. It wasn't all Hellebuck's fault, but he looked shaky on it. A little bit later on, another goal from out near the blue line. bad goal Hellebuck lets in. You're like, oh my God, here we go again with Hellebuck. He's going to just lose this game for him. And the commentators are like, you got to pull him. You got to pull him. You can't afford to go down 3-0. You got to pull him. I give the coach credit. He left him in. If I was the coach, I would have yanked him, which would have been being a bad thing. But Winnipeg gets a goal in the third. It's 2-1. St. Louis comes right back, makes it 3-1. And Hellebuck's starting to play better. He's keeping them in there. And towards the end of the third, it's getting down to crunch time. 3 minutes left? 4 minutes left? 3 minutes left. They pull the goalie. They had to, right? Get the extra skater on.
Yep.
Make it 6-on-5. And, you're like, oh, it's just a wing and a prayer. You're like, there's no way they're going to pull this off, right? With 2 minutes left, they get a goal.
Makes it 3-2.
3-2. So now there's 2 minutes left. So they have the face-off. Hellebuck's still in there. They play a little bit. They get the puck. They get possession. They go back down into St. Louis' end. Hellebuck goes out again. They get the sixth skater back on. Couple whistles, icings from St. Louis, trying to get the empty net goal. They miss the empty net. So it's icing, right? Face-off back in their zone. Getting down. It's 10 seconds left. The puck's in the corner. You're like, well, this is it. They're not going to get a shot off. Lo and behold, they dig the puck out. They get a shot off. He fans on the shot, but they get the pass over, and then they get the deflection in with 1.6 seconds left. Unbelievable.
You rarely see it.
2 empty net goals to tie this game up at 3. You thought they were dead in the water. That's the latest game-tying goal in Stanley Cup history, meaning with only 1.6 seconds left. It had never happened that late in the game before. And that's a history. So now you're like, we're going to overtime, right? I still had it in the back of my mind, yep, they did all this, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't finish it off.
Right.
And I'm like, Hellebuck, is he going to be a hero or the GOAT? He played great in overtime, and Winnipeg started taking over the game in overtime. They started getting all the shots, and it goes to double overtime.
St. Louis was already defeated after the tying goal went
They
in.
had to be. I mean, they didn't get a lot of shots off in overtime, but hey, their goalie played good. Binnington played great, kept them in it, and goes to a double overtime, and Winnipeg gets the goal finally. And what an amazing comeback! That was. I don't know if I'll go as far as you to say it was the best hockey game I ever watched, but it's by far the best ending to a hockey game I've ever watched.
Right. Like I said, you've been watching hockey way longer than me, so you probably won't agree with that. But I just started watching not too long ago, and it's probably one of the best endings I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's
probably
right
the best ending. Yeah,
it's one of the best by far.
Let me say though, it's a shame that they had Kenny Albert calling this game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm still not big on the hockey announcers that they have. I mean, Kenny Albert.
I feel like McDonough's getting a little better.
He's better. He did really good in that Dallas game.
Yeah.
I have to say, towards the end when Rantanen was going off there,
I really wish McDonough had the call. That would have been good, but
I will say this, growing up on the Canadian border, Messina, New York, I always had the Canadian television to watch, their channels.
Definitely the best.
CBC. Their coverage blows away the American coverage when it comes to hockey. Their announcers...
I believe it. It's a Canadian sport.
Yeah, it's just so much better. The atmosphere is better, how they set up their mics and all that for the game, for the crowd. If you put them broadcast side by side from CBC Television Canada and then ESPN or TNT on the US, and you listen to them, you'll be like, oh my God, that is so much better. And you're right, it's their sport. So, but I miss that. Part of me misses that because we don't get that down here.
I miss Doc. Yeah, man, he was the GOAT.
Yeah, it was great. But this goes to show you, we're going to talk about in a minute probably. I'm probably where you're going to go with the NBA soon here. But the NHL playoffs blow the NBA playoffs out of the water, at least in the first round. There's no comparison with the excitement level, the drama. I mean, hockey is not as popular a sport as basketball, so it doesn't get the viewership as much, but
I mean, yeah, we had
just so
we
much
had
better.
2 Game 7s in the NHL that were both phenomenal games. You had 2 Game 7s in the NBA that were horrible.
Just duds. You turn them off at halftime.
The Clippers game was all right. Sorry. The Clippers game was the complete blowout, not even close at all. The Rockets gave a little bit, but
I gotta be honest with you, that Rockets game, like I was going back and forth between that and the NHL game last night, and just the way the Rockets started that game, I knew they weren't winning that game. That Golden State was just ahead right from the start, and they got ahead, and they stayed ahead. And
right.
I could just tell the Rockets couldn't make shots. I mean, you don't expect Buddy Hield to go off like he did, but you could just tell the way that game started that game was not going to be that competitive.
Buddy Hield, man, he actually tied the record with Dante DiVincenzo. He said it last year, 9 threes in a playoff game, that's the most.
He couldn't miss. There was one stretch there. It's like,
I mean, he had one that was beyond half court to end the quarter.
yep, that one. And I mean, that was a little lucky, but all the other ones, I mean, it's crazy. I'm like,
Him and Jimmy Butler is kind of funny to me. I don't know. You probably haven't seen it, but man, those two. I feel like the Warriors have a good thing going as far as chemistry goes. But now they march to Minnesota to take on Ant-Man and the Timberwolves, where I believe that this series will be good. But I feel like I can comfortably say that the Timberwolves are winning the series.
I thought that all along over the last few days, knowing that they're probably going to play each other. And then after watching Golden State last night, I'm like, But what are the chances that Buddy Hield plays that good again? 0, right? He's never going to play that good again.
Yeah, he's a great shooter, but
He's not going to have a game like that.
yeah, no, that's his best game ever in his career.
And they don't, other than
They have Curry, Jimmy Butler. That's where they're actually. I'm not gonna say that's all they're scoring. I mean, if you've been watching, Brandon Pajemski had a great series.
yeah, he's pretty decent. Yeah,
He had 2 games with pushing 30 points, which was good. He was shooting well.
it's going to be a very interesting series.
But
'cause
here's what I'll say: the Timberwolves, I mean, in my opinion, they have more options off the bench than the Warriors do.
yeah, I agree with that.
And
Their bench is big.
The way
they're
Steve,
bigger too.
The way Steve Kerr coaches is horrible. I mean, it's so clear with Jonathan Kuminga. Like, what is his plan there? One game he won't play him at all, and then another game he's starting, and then he'll be right back on the bench again.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird team.
And Steve Kerr just, I don't know, he just loves putting in players randomly, and then, Kuminga probably rusty. I mean, in a playoff game, he put him in yesterday in Game 7, and Kuminga really struggled. But I'm not even going to put it on him because Kerr doesn't know when to play him and when to sit him.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, only thing I worry about with Minnesota is they've been sitting a while. They're gonna be a little rough. I mean, I could almost see Golden State maybe sneaking out the first game.
Yeah, that could be possible. Man, just the storyline. Anthony Edwards trying to get another Infinity Stone, many might say. Took out Durant last year, took out LeBron. Now he's looking to take out Steph Curry.
Yeah, interesting. Who on the Warriors is going to guard him? It's not going to be Steph Curry. He can't guard him. Probably going to be Gary Payton, huh? Butler, I guess.
I'd say Gary Payton.
I don't think
know.
Butler can stay with
Because
him.
if you look at their starters, I don't know, but on their bench, 2 guys come to mind: Moses Moody and Gary Payton.
'Cause I don't see anybody in that starting lineup guarding him.
Yeah, no.
Jimmy Butler's too old to guard him. He's still a good player, but I don't think he can keep up with him.
I don't know who Butler is going to guard.
I don't-
McDaniels. Maybe Julius Randle. I don't know.
That's interesting. That'd be an interesting matchup. Randall's is kind of a key to this because sometimes he disappears in the playoffs, but maybe this is the.
I mean, Randle had a
great series.
He had a good series against the Lakers. I know he's not always the best offensive weapon, but do you see the Warriors' lack of size being an advantage for Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I don't know. He struggled most of the series, but he had a fantastic Game 7, and even if he can keep building off that, that could be a scary Timberwolves team.
Yeah, it's hard to say. He's one of those funny players that it's like sometimes he's motivated and sometimes he's not. It's like
I agree.
It's like however mood he's in that day, it's just weird. I don't know. It's interesting series to meet the last. I just got to say one thing before we get off of the Game 7s completely. Going back to that Clippers series, I harped on it last week. I believe I harped on it in last week's episode about Mr. James Harden. Maybe I didn't, but...
No, you did. You were right, though.
Once again...
He didn't show up.
He doesn't show up for Game 7. He had 7 points.
I get willing to give Harden another chance. When you brought it up, I was like, I don't know. I just feel like this could be his year. He doesn't have this big chip on his shoulder because the Clippers, they don't really rely on one guy. That team, it's kind of just like all a team effort. But James Harden, 7 points in a Game 7 is absolutely unacceptable. It's inexcusable, and it's disgraceful. How in the world are you one of these... The Clippers, they don't have much scores. It's probably your main source of offense as well as far as starters go. You, Kawhi, and Norman Powell. Kawhi was probably the only person who showed up.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a great game either, but at least he had 22 points. At least he did something. But James Harden, I mean...
It's time and time again. Time and time again.
I just want to know, when are these teams that keep taking a chance on him going to learn? Now, you're not going to win with him. Yeah, you might. Yeah, he'll be a decent player in the regular season, no doubt. But when it comes time to crunch time in the playoffs... He's not going to do it for you. He didn't do it for Philadelphia. He didn't do it for Brooklyn. He didn't do it for OKC when he was there.
Didn't do it for Houston.
Didn't do it for Houston. It goes on and on. And then when things don't go well, he wants out. I'm going to go somewhere else, or I'm going to go do this.
I just wonder when that,
I mean,
when is that going to end? I mean, it's the same pattern every year.
I don't know what kind of contract he has with the Clippers, but they're not going anywhere with this group. I mean, maybe they don't have any better options. I don't know.
Are you talking about the Clippers?
Yes.
There's a couple guys you can keep, but you gotta get I don't know. You gotta get rid of Harden, or I don't know what you do from here for the Clippers.
I don't know what they do either.
I mean you got some bright spots. Norman Powell played very good.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's not like he's not going to get you over.
Well, I'm just saying that was a bright spot.
No,
he had 20 almost every game.
He's a good piece, no doubt.
So you got to keep him. Kawhi, if he can somehow stay healthy, this year is a very good sign because Kawhi has not been able to play.
I was shocked that he made it through the series. I really was.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Game 5 you're going to be like, oh, Kawhi's out Game 6,
But, man, he played all 7 games. When's the last time you seen him do that? When he was with Toronto? I mean, geez.
So I don't know if they have an option. I mean, they probably are going to have to run it back with this same group.
I mean, you got Zubac is probably a top 10 center in the league now. He played, I'd say, if you look at all Jokic's dominance, he played pretty well against him. if you put it that way.
See, Harden needs to be like the third guy on a team. Right now, he's the second guy, and he's the guy that has the ball in his hand all the time.
Harden was very good in the clutch in this series. What I did like, you're not used to seeing this from Harden. Usually he'll take some wild three in the clutch. He made the smart plays. He would go to the basket, get a quick floater, maybe pass it to the paint, your center. He would do that a lot. Usually Harden, when the game is in his hands, you're used to seeing an isolation, that stupid double step back three from him. That's probably, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Game 7, he didn't show up, and it's just the same thing over and over and over with this guy. I just don't know. Every fan of his says, please don't make Harden another one of these talented players that doesn't win a ring, and I'm sorry to say he does it to himself.
Yeah, he's one of the most overrated players of all time because he got all his points and all his stuff with these crazy, like you said, the step back threes and the flailing, the kick out with the leg to get the fouls all the time back earlier in his career.
I don't know if I would say he's one of the most overrated.
He is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He is not. Or if you're talking about a player, he's not overrated.
He got his.
How are you saying that? How are you saying a guy that averaged 40 is overrated? I get it's one thing to say he's not a winning player. He's probably not. But when you say he's an overrated player based on his skills, is that what you're saying? He averaged.
How many free throws did he take because of that rule? They changed that foul rule with him, diving into the player all the time, like he used to do. How many free throws a night did he get doing that? I mean, that padded his stats. I mean, I know it was in the rules, so I'm not saying he's not talented. That's not what I'm saying. I just think he's overrated. You had guys saying, oh, he's one of the best player, top 10 player and top 15 player of all time. No, he's not. He's not even close to that.
I think it's absolutely outrageous that people compare him to Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade was a winning player. He's not. No. He's just not. His style, it was so unwatchable when he was the main guy. Dribble for 15, 20 seconds of a 24-second clock, and then throw up a wild three and hope to get fouled. That was his game. And the rest of the guys just standing there waiting. That's why they didn't win. I mean, great, yeah, he had 40 points, but anyway, enough of James Harden for one day.
Well, yesterday we actually got to start a Game 1 before Game 7. Round 2 has begun. In Cleveland, Indiana comes into a very loud house in Cleveland and takes Game 1.
Yeah.
Before you go ahead here, I think the key to this game, if you look at it, Tyrese Halliburton got every switch he wanted. The reason he was so successful is because he would be guarded by probably a more faster, more even matchup with the guards. He would always get a switch on Jarrett Allen, and every time Jarrett Allen would play all right defense, but Halliburton was just scoring and scoring and scoring. If you're the Cavaliers, you got to learn or figure out quick how to contain a little more Halliburton getting switches, because if he's just able to do that all series long, it might be upset incoming for Indiana.
Yeah, I think this might be a bad matchup for the Cavaliers because one thing Indiana can do is score, and I really thought I wasn't positive, but I really thought that maybe the Cavs were a little overrated. I know it's only one game, so we got to play out a little bit here. But from what I saw in Game 1, I don't know. The Cavs, they might be paper tigers. Indiana, they played Boston really tough. I know it was a 5-game series last year. Was it? I think it was 5.
Yeah, but
Was it
like all
4?
those games were pretty close.
It might have been 4.
It might have been 4, but
they had a chance to win 2 of those games right down the end for sure. So it's not like they're not a good team.
well, they're a good team, yeah. Yeah, Indiana, and you also look at it like this. It's a good matchup for the Pacers because they got 2 excellent big guys, Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for teams.
But Cavaliers, I mean, you take Mobley, he's won Defense Player of the Year, and Jarrett Allen. So they got 2 big guys themselves, but man, this might be a bad matchup, like you said. Let's take a look at the box score here. Donovan Mitchell has his 33 points. I don't see any concerns with him. And a big thing we didn't point out, Darius Garland is injured. His ankle is hurt, so he could miss the next game and possibly Game 3.
Yeah, if that is the case, I don't see them winning the series.
Yeah, because you look at Ty Jerome, he is having a high year this year. This is probably his best season so far of his NBA career, but he comes off the bench. When he's starting, I mean, he played pretty well yesterday, but
yeah, that's a good guy to have off the bench. But if he's moved up to a starter,
who comes after him?
So now who's coming off
you
the
lose
bench? Yeah.
you lose some depth.
That's a big problem. Yeah,
because if you look at it, they don't got much. Ty Jerome played 29 minutes, and there is 40. What's 12 times 4? 48. There's 48 minutes in a game, and Ty Jerome played 29 of those. He's probably used to a lot. I mean, I'm looking at the box score. I don't see another point guard on here.
No, I mean, that's a big loss. So,
well, let's go to the Pacers. They had a bunch of guys contribute. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players over double-digit points. Siakam, Nesmith, who is turning into a very great player for the Pacers. Miles Turner, Nembhard had a great game. He was their leading scorer, actually. And Halliburton, like I said, 22. And, of course, he's always finding his guys with 13 assists. And then you got a great performance from Mathurin off the bench.
yeah,
They are loaded, it looks like.
without Garland on Cleveland, then the depth of the Indiana, I think that could be just way too much.
Right.
This could be it for Cavs. I know it's one game, but you go down 2-0 going back to Indiana.
I feel like if the I feel like they're going to be missing Garland next game. I don't know if he were to have that fire, if the Cavaliers go down 2-0, I just have a feeling Garland is going to do whatever he can to play.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you have to. This, like you said, this could be a bad matchup for the Cavs.
No, I think it is. Regardless of whether they win or not, but the Pacers, but it's put it to you this way. If the Pacers don't outright win this, they're going to push it a long way anyway. It's going to be a long series. So, yeah, this is going to be a tough one for the Cavs.
We have another series starting today. That would be the Knicks and the Celtics.
Knicks and Celtics, one thing I really haven't heard much about is the injury for Boston. You know who I'm talking about. Is he playing or not?
Who?
He didn't play at all last series.
Who?
Their best guard.
Derek White, Drew Holiday?
Drew Holiday. Is he playing?
I don't know. I didn't even know he missed last series.
Did you watch last series?
No, not really. I know you're going to beat the Magic.
Well,
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What
He
I'm
literally
talking
played in the last game.
about? No, he didn't.
Look. Look. In his recent game he played.
Well, okay, I got maybe I wasn't watching. Wow, I could have swore he didn't play at all in that series, but the wrap up game of that series, I'm like you. I guess I didn't pay much attention to it because it was just wasn't close.
I mean, maybe actually that was April 23rd. I think that might have been game 2.
Yeah, I don't.
He played 2 games that series and then he was hurt the rest, I think.
Yeah, that's why.
Let's go to news on Drew Holiday. We can see if we have an update on him. Let's go to the news. He is on track to play game 1.
Well, that's all I need to know. If he's
They need him to guard Brunson.
85 to 90% of himself, this is a 5-game series.
Not crazy to say. Not crazy to say. The Knicks are overrated.
Unless the Knicks just completely turn into a different team than what I saw against Detroit.
Oh my goodness. The Knicks. Oh my goodness. 0-4 against the Celtics regular season, 0-4 against the Thunder regular season, and they were 0-4 against another team that's good this year.
Cavs, I think.
It was the Cavs. That's who it was. This team cannot beat a good team. The Pistons I think they should have made that a 7-game series. But yeah, the Pistons really pushed them, and if the Knicks can just barely squeak by Detroit, this series is done in 5.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it goes more than 5. I have a feel. I mean, you could have. Crazy. These second round series might not be that good. This series.
What?
Well, listen. This one's going to be 5, I think, or 4. Denver and OKC.
That's going to be a good series.
You think so?
Yes.
You don't think OKC's just going to run them ragged?
No, they have Jokic and Murray.
All right.
What are you talking about?
Well,
Run right through them.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but
You definitely are.
we'll see when our next.
Timberwolves and Warriors is going to be good, and Pacers and Cavs will be all right, probably. I don't know. Maybe the Western Conference is good, but the Eastern Conference, I don't know. You could either have 2 good series, maybe 1 good series, maybe 1 bad series. I don't know. The Eastern's a little hard to predict. Actually, no, that's easy to predict. That's why we think it's going to be bad. It's the West. I don't know how you can say that. Denver's going to get steamrolled. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
This is a young Thunder team, and all these players on the Nuggets have played in the playoffs.
true.
I mean, so
But-
did the Thunder, but they got... Look what happened when they played Dallas last year.
Yeah, true. We'll see, I guess. Now, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's just me trying to hate on the NBA a little bit. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Jeez, you really are miserable. You always are hating on the NBA.
Yeah, I know. I it's kind of weird. I kind of like it when it's not good. So,
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna call PK Subban. Set you guys up.
yeah.
Jeez.
Well, anyway,
You. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I can't get past the fact that you just said that the Thunder are gonna steamroll the Nuggets.
you know where I heard that?
Oh yeah, where Mad Dog?
I did.
Oh my gosh, you copy everything that dude says. Be
No, I
original.
don't. I don't.
Yes,
I
you
don't.
do.
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I really don't. But I kind of like that, thinking maybe the OKC, the just young and ready to go, and they're just gonna like run them out of the building.
Nope.
But you're probably right.
This is a cool storyline though. Russell Westbrook, back where it all began.
Hey, yeah, against OKC. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a big storyline. We'll see if he gets to do a little hanging on the rim technicals in this series. That's one of the great moments of the series. I gotta admit, that was pretty awesome what he did there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Russell Westbrook fan because I think he's just a spastic basketball player. He's just all over the place.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. I gotta admit that. That was a great scene right there.
Absolutely. We got any other?
Well, I don't have anything else on the NBA, but the NHL second round starts tonight.
Oh yeah, let's go over those.
We got Toronto and just one game tonight. Toronto and Florida.
Florida's winning. Toronto is frauds every year. They haven't won a championship since 1960. There you go. There's your series.
Well, now you're getting ahead of yourself.
I don't care. It doesn't matter how good the Maple Leafs are. I'm never believing them until I see it.
I think in order for it to be a series, they have to win tonight. Because if they get down 1-0, I know it's only one game, but like you say, Florida has that. It's not a fun. It's not a fun way philosophy of hockey to watch or game plan that they have. Because what it is just suffocating defense the way they play. And then they.
You don't think that's fun to watch?
The reason I don't say it's fun is because, for instance, it's kind of Eastern Conference, Western Conference. If you watch Western Conference games in the NHL, Edmonton Oilers come to mind, Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche, those teams, Vegas, not so much Vegas, but those teams. Mm-hmm. It's more of an up and down style, a lot more scoring chances and stuff. The Eastern Conference is more of a defensive conference, and Florida is probably the best example of that right now. There's no room if you're a hockey person, you know what that means. There's no room. There's no room to skate, and you don't get that up and down, exciting up and down flow. That's what I mean by that. And so if you watch the game tonight, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because the Leafs are kind of they got some offensive scoring power. And if Florida plays their style and stifles that the way they did last year in the playoffs, not against them, but against everybody else, it's not the funnest game to watch. That's all I'm saying. If you're a Panther fan, it is. But as far as if you're just a hockey fan and you have no rooting interest in the game, you want to see that up and down, right? You don't want to see,
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So that's the only thing about that series. But, who knows? Maybe the Maple Leafs maybe they can get their style going in this series. We'll see. But it's a battle of two different styles. And you're probably right. Florida's style will probably win out. But I think tonight's game will go a long way in seeing how this series goes.
Let's go into a very packed plays of the week. First play coming from Clippers and Nuggets. Done with the ball. Stripped away by Westbrook. Little dunk. Hang on the rim. Tee him up. He doesn't care. Go hype up the Denver crowd.
Unbelievable. I love that. This was great. This was awesome. I loved it.
Told the Clippers it's time for them to go home. Coming from Boston and Toronto. Tate pitches. Duran sends it back. Varsho slips, but somehow makes the catch behind his back. Wow.
What a play. You never do that again. Unbelievable.
Coming from the Knicks and the Pistons. Game 6. Brunson with the ball. Final seconds looking to get a winner. Brunson makes his move. Asar Thompson put on skates. 3 ball for the win. Got it. Jalen Brunson sends the Pistons home.
That was a dagger. Told you they were going to beat them.
It had to come down to the drama, didn't it? I mean, look at how far. Oh my goodness. Out of the screen.
I don't know how did he do that? I don't know. That's crazy. You would have swore he pushed off, but he didn't.
No.
Coming from Game 7, St. Louis and Winnipeg. Winnipeg down by a goal with 16 seconds left. Time's clicking off. They're in the corner. This could be it. They could be eliminated. They move the puck back to the blue line. He fans on the shot. Over to Connor. And it's in for the game-tying goal with 1.6 seconds left.
What an absolute stunning moment. The NHL has never seen an ending like this in Stanley Cup history. 1.6 seconds left, and the Winnipeg Jets tie the game in the third period to send it to overtime in a Game 7. Coming from Colorado and Dallas. Colorado at the other end with an empty net. Dallas trying to get a defensive stand. On a breakaway, Rantanen. Who else? An absolute rampage to send the Avalanche home.
What a play. Gets the hat trick to seal the game.
It was only fitting that Rantanen got his hat trick, and you see all the green hats flying onto the ice as Dallas moving on to the second round, and this was a classic. Coming from Bucks and Pacers, a wild sequence. Porter Jr. receives it in the backcourt, feeds it to Green, over to Trent. He lost the ball out of bounds, and with the Pacers down by 1, they have a chance to go down the court and win this thing. Let's see what happens here. Into Nemhard, into the hands of Halliburton. Halliburton working on Antetokounmpo, gets past him. Halliburton, layup is up, it's good! Indiana up by 1. The Bucks have to get one final shot off. Giannis inbounding. Gets it into Trent. Have full court, offline. The Indiana Pacers with a wild ending send Milwaukee packing.
What a sequence. He just blew by Giannis. Unbelievable.
You want to know what makes this better, Dad? The Pacers fans here finally bringing that back, the tradition to wearing the shirts. All a crowd full of yellow. United. Oh, and here's Halliburton's dad and Giannis. Well, Dad, that will be the end of today's podcast. But who is your top performer and biggest disappointment?
Well, my top performer has got to be Mikko Rantanen of the Dallas Stars.
I'd say he's the best performer of the week.
Yeah. Took over the game basically by himself and willed that Dallas Star team to the Game 7 victory. Unbelievable play against his former team. My not so top performer of the week. I was going to go James Harden, but I figured that's a layup, right?
Yeah. Who else are you going to go with?
No, it's James Harden. I got to go with James Harden. It's him. Another Game 7 disappearance.
Well, my top performer comes from Warriors and Rockets. It's obviously going to be Buddy Hield. A huge Game 7, 33 points, 9 3-pointers, straight fire coming out of his hands. He could not miss.
Yeah, great game.
And with my biggest disappointment, it's going to be a tough one. But, man, there's a bunch of ones you could pick. I think I'm just going to go with the Los Angeles Clippers in general.
You could do that.
They fought hard against the Nuggets all series just to be nowhere to be found in Game 7. So those are my two picks for top performer and biggest disappointment. And any predictions before we sign off?
Instead of a series, I'm gonna go with a game. I'm gonna go Game 1, Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Florida Panthers.
Well, with mine, I am going to predict, we went over this earlier, the Oklahoma City Thunder gets sent home by the Denver Nuggets.
Interesting. I like that. We'll see.
Well, this has been PM Sport Talk. I'm Preston. That's my father, Mike, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Goodbye.